it was maybe not so great because all of a sudden people were like, instead it was more about the individual and not about the group. My knowledge of the song came right at the very beginning when Donald had just written the riff, the guitar riff, and he called me up and said, Al, I just wrote this great riff, you want to hear it? I said, sure, play it, so he had an electric guitar. He put the phone on the guitar, and I could hear the vibrations of the thing, and I'm like, oh, that is a really good riff, and then we said, this is going to be a great record. We've got, we're making demos on our multi-track, 4-track machines, and really able to get a little bit more into kind of harmony that we wanted and all this stuff, because a lot of times it was trial and error, in the practice. So we figured that we'd be more efficient. We brought in a more complete thing. So he said, I'm going to make a demo. And, we were about to fly to the Northwest. We were playing a series of shows in Seattle and Portland and I think Medford or someplace like that, Pacific Northwest. So when, I got picked up, I met him at the airport because I was living in Manhattan. He was living out on Long Island. So I met him at the airport. He said, here's the cassette, and I had a little Sony Walkman. So I put the cassette in. I'm listening. I'm like, whoa, this is going to be a hit. And I said, Don, I think you just wrote a hit. He's like, well, no, I don't know. I don't even know if it's right for the group. It's too mushy, So I said, oh, no, we have to do this. We have to do it. It'll blow people's minds. He said, I don't know. You think it's any good? I'm like, if I know anything at all about music, this is going to be a hit. I said, okay. So I kept the cassette. I get to Seattle. I was going out with this girl. Yeah, I know. Everything is related to women. I like it. I've had a lot. But, but I'm a serial monogamist. So, I'm usually pretty faithful. Anyway, so I was going out with Monica DeMeo. She worked for the promoter in Seattle. She wasn't really a groupie. She was a working person. One of the few females that you'd find in the business. So anyway, so we started going out, and I really liked her a lot. And so I said, listen to this song that Don wrote. And she listened to it, and at the end she starts crying. I said, what's the matter? She goes, are you breaking up with me? Because it was all our times have come. I'm like, no, I didn't even write this. This is Don wrote it. And it's not about a breakup. She said, oh my God, that's beautiful. I said, yeah, this is going to be a hit. And even the cowbell couldn't ruin it.
Indeed.
The song is unstoppable. It's like, and history has proven me right, that it's just a song that just lasts and lasts. It's like, I think I wrote this to you, but so Joe and I are playing this show on Long Island for Billy Joel, and we practice with Jules and Danny Miranda from the current Blue Öyster Cult, and Joe said to Danny and Jules, he said, you guys ever get tired of playing this song? And they both said, no, it is so much fun. It's weird because you get tired of playing almost every song. No matter how good it is, you get tired of it after a while. They said, never get tired of it. I said, me too. I played it 1,000 times and I still love to play it. It's something about it. I can't really describe it, but it's just like it's enduring. It's a powerful song.
It's powerful, and it's unusual as well in its construction, because, like you said, it starts, it stops, it starts, it stops. It's not the sort of song that you'd expect to be a big hit or make it on the radio or make it in the charts, is it?
Yeah, well, I mean, at the time there was a lot of songs that started and stopped, and you can play it without stopping, and it's fine. you know, but the middle section, I remember, I feel like I was a little bit responsible because I'm like, Don, this song, it's like the same thing over and over and over, which is great, but, you know, it needs a little break from that, you know, maybe a change of key or something. I said, I have an idea. He goes, I got an idea. Don't worry. So he came up with the other thing, which I'm like, how the hell did you do that? You know, to go from A minor to F sharp minor, not a major, a minor, because F minor, because the song is A, G, F, to get a little, for you geeks out there, A, G, F, and then, but it's F major. And then for the bridge, it's F minor. So he somehow, he did this, and it completely changed the complexion of the middle section. It's like, is this even the same song? And then somehow he goes right back into the riff, and it's seamless. It's amazing. You know, besides the fact that, you know, the rhythm is all crazy too, because, you know, and he has described it as it changes time signature in the middle of the in that part, but it doesn't really. Originally, what he said is, when you play the boom, 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 you come in on two. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and yeah, I can't even count it, but you know what I mean. So you come in on a two, and then at the end you come, you know, you go back to one, and so yeah. So that another thing that made it weird is that, you know, it has this rhythm that is completely unexpected.
Yep, absolutely. And you mentioned a few times you thought it was going to be a hit. It was going to be a hit. It sounded like a hit. Everything like that. How did that change things for the band then at the time when it came out and it was a hit?
Well, we got the headline. You know, instead of being an opening act, which we were for most of the gigs that we played up until then, we got to be a headliner, which was a mixed blessing, because, you know, as the opener, you get to try and, you know, top the headliner. But as a headliner, what do? You know, you're just trying to, okay, well, can't let them show us up, I guess. But the other thing is that, I mean, it changed our lives in many positive ways, you know, going from just barely, you know, hand to mouth, kind of, even after, you know, having success with on your feet and on your knees. Nobody had a new car. After that, I had 2 cars, and I owned a house. So it was, you know, kind of enabled us to become adults. I think as a group, it was maybe not so great, because all of a sudden people were like, you know, instead it was more about the individual and not about the group. Because in the beginning, nobody cared who wrote what, you know, and there was no money in publishing, so you weren't trying to push to get your song on it. It was like whatever's the best song. After that, it became this kind of tug of war, who's going to get their song on the record, which I think ultimately is not the greatest way to run a band. You know, I even in the beginning, when I was writing most of the songs, I was like, we should just split all the money equally, just like the Doors do. Put everybody's name on the thing, because we're all in this boat together, you know. You know, we all suffer equally, you know, nobody's suffering more than anybody else. So, you know, we should be rewarded equally. That's, you know, but that's me. I'm a progressive, you know, liberal, you know, it's all about equity. So, you know, yeah, you know,